Welcome back. Still Tuesday, January 26, 2016. And this is still the morning edition I-24 News. Last I checked, I'm still Yael Lavie, and thank you for staying. Because right about now, at the Israel Trade Fairs and Convention Center in northern Tel Aviv, that is the city we're sitting in, the second largest Cybertek expo in the world is about to commence. It's called Cybertek 2016, and it's huge. In about an hour, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who's very big on cyber, will give his keynote speech at the event. And throughout the next 48 hours, all eyes of the tech world will be focused on the leading startups, investors, and innovators of the cybersecurity field. Now, Cybertek 2016 is set for the third year in a row to poise Israel as the #1 ammunition source for the global war on cyber terror and malicious hackers. How big are the threats and how big is this rapidly growing industry? To find that one out, we're joined in studio by the CEO of CyberWriter and former director of Israel's National Cybersecurity Authority, Erez Kreiner. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I'm a little scared of you, I don't know why. And by our own editor-in-chief of the Tube magazine here in I-24 News, Shai Ringel. Good morning to you, spiffingly dressed. But before anything else, let's first take a look at the following report that will explain to us, the threats posed by hackers and terrorists, and what this tech convention may solve. Let's take a look.
Welcome to Israel, the world's cyber capital.
In the last 2 decades, the State of Israel, a regional power devoted to ensuring its own survival, has developed into a thriving high-tech epicenter built around internet security, antivirus software, and other cyber defense technologies.
Fast track into the future, where everything is connected.
Many multinational companies see Israel as a cyber powerhouse and invest money mostly in already acquiring existing teams to set up cybersecurity research and development centers.
When you think cyber, think of Israel. With great talents and great resources. The biggest challenge of all is how do we protect cyberspace? So we have created a special organization to try to mesh together these elements, obviously to afford cyber defense to our critical systems, to the country, but also to see how we can share with others our experience and our talents.
Success and vast opportunities notwithstanding, Israel also needs to tackle various threats as the country faces a cyber war on a daily basis. Many of the attacks against Israeli Defense Forces servers and Israeli networks in general are denial of service attacks. But the past year especially has seen some very sophisticated new incursions. Not only Israeli security is under cyber attacks. In the last year, major Israeli infrastructures, businesses, media outlets, and NGOs have also been victims of malicious incursions. But considering all the pros and cons in this very complex challenge, the Israeli cyber industry is no doubt secure.
This is Yoav Borovich's report about, the big cyber success that Israel is. So I want to start actually with the CEO of CyberWriter and the former director of Israel's National Cybersecurity Authority, Erez Kreiner. Mr. Kreiner, I want to ask, how leading is Israel in this, topic that I don't understand too much about, but when it comes to cyber warfare? Cutting edge on that front, how far are we?
Well, I guess we are in a pretty good position. Let me quote Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister. He said we should be in the leading 5 and not in the 5th place. And I guess that means that we are pretty advanced with that cyber field. It's actually an arena, and it's an arena of attacks, arena of defense for major, for I would say businesses and private people. The defense is something that is most important because actually we are surrounding with the cyber arena. Whether if you are driving in your car, if you stay at your home, or even if you are naked in a cave without any telephone or computer, still someone can steal your digital identity and do something with your identification.
Wait, is it just that? Is it just the theft of identities when it comes to cyber warfare? It's not that. When
Not at all.
I mean, if we're quoting Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, I'm assuming the cyber threats go further than that, right?
Exactly.
Such as what?
You're totally right. Critical infrastructures are being threatened. Actually, all the, I would say, the main processes of living in a Western country, in a modern country, are threatened through cyber means. Because actually, all our normal life is operated by machines that are controlled by means of computers, which mean cyber, and all those processes and equipment is a target for those who wants to sabotage or manipulate their way of processing.
Yeah, but and I think, one of the million-dollar questions is, though, when it comes to the big companies that are protected and if Israel is leading on the cutting edge, what happens to the little people? And I'm sorry for turning to you when I said little people, Shai Ringel, but as the editor-in-chief of the Tube magazine, who protects them?
That's a big question because when our privacy as a consumers and as people who all are connected to the internet is not that great. Just 2 days ago, there was a story about a search engine that can help you find what you're looking for at webcams. You can search sleeping babies and look around the world if someone's webcam is taking a photo of sleeping babies.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can, if I were a hacker or such, I can now take a look at other people's babies.
You don't need to be a hacker.
I don't even need to be a hacker.
No, not that.
I can tap into webcams on computers to look at.
It's much more simple these days. There are a lot of webcams out there, and
I'm just horrified in this moment.
Yeah,
like,
and not a lot of security because we don't know all these products. And when we talk about cybersecurity and all those sorts of conventions, usually you talk about infrastructure and the big things, but there are a lot of products out there and people are buying those products, and security these days for the little people, for the civilians, is not that great. It's not that great from all sorts of products, and from hackers and from governments. Governments are also spying on us. Israel.
Well, government spying on everybody. I mean, okay.
Yeah. But not just that. Israel is not only leading in security firms, they are also leading in tools for hackers. There are a lot of companies in Israel who are making tools, such as the Nigerian government is using a tool from an Israeli startup to surveillance after LGBT civilians in their country. Yeah.
Right. No, and that's a thing that, it's that counterposition that one wonders, who are those conventions geared towards? But before we answer that, let's go straight to the convention, where we're joined by I-24 News correspondent Daniel Roth. Daniel, good morning. You're smack in that what has been deemed the biggest thing in cyber history ever. Explain to me why.
Yes. Yeah, it is very big. It's the biggest Cybertek conference of this kind outside of the U.S., we should mention, but that makes it among the biggest in the world. The Prime Minister of Israel is here. There's what seems to be thousands of people lined up outside. The lineups are through the door, and people are really just getting set up. It's that big a conference that there's already hundreds and hundreds of people inside, and there's still people streaming through the door.
Now, what are we expected to see in this? I mean, what's on the showcase, so to speak, when it comes to cyber warfare technology in this conference?
Well, so there's two big sections here in terms of cyber tech, and in Israel, of course, defense is the big one, is sort of the overarching theme. But there's two kinds of defense. There's defense of data, the kind of the thing that banks and social networks and many other companies that hold information want to defend. They want to defend your information, their information. And then there's defense of infrastructure, defense of physical systems, electricity systems, water systems, things like that. One of the big questions that's being asked here on the ground that I'm actually asking around is whether people think that there's any sort of real threat, because historically we haven't seen much of a threat on the infrastructure side. We've seen much more threat on the data side, and so that is a much more established side of things. The infrastructure thing is the infrastructure side of the cyber technology, cyber defense field is really just growing.
Now, when it comes to economically, I'm assuming that's a place where a country like Israel is looking to gain a lot investment-wise in selling out these technology to protect from from cyber terror, so to speak. Correct?
Absolutely, and it's, we're talking about $75 billion industry right now that is going, projections see to be well over $100 billion in another 3 years. So this is a big industry that's getting bigger, and I think we're witnessing a snowball effect in terms of the economic capacity of Cybertek, to put it sort of in a broad sense. We're talking about billions and billions, over $100 billion very, very soon, that in a growing industry where, startups, about 1 in 5 startups survive. In the Cybertek industry here, you're talking about over 50% that survive.
Over 50% that survive. So it can be changed into Cybertek nation.
Meaning they get themselves out of the seed stage.
Out of the seed stage. Unbelievable. Dan, if you can stay with us, I want to ask you, Mr. Kreiner, when it comes to, this cyber technology, first of all, I'm assuming this is, well, why do you think that Israel is so big and is so successful in the cyber world?
Well, I guess it belongs to the Israeli ethos and the Israeli spirit. And I think we kind of created in this country a real mechanism that helps the people that have the initiative spirit, that have hacking skills. It really fits the cyber world. Cyber is very asymmetric. You can hit a missile with a virus. You cannot hit a virus with a missile.
Right.
So it's a kind of weapon that can help, I would say, people that don't have huge facilities, huge resources. And I guess this is something that really describes the people in Israel. We are a small country. We have, I would say, I'm a local patriot. We have many smart people here. And this wisdom leads to create those cyber equipment, cyber software that actually can be sold
it can be sold, and as we've heard, make a lot of money, make a lot of money worldwide. When it comes, though, I'm wondering, when it comes to, as I asked you, Shai, when it comes to the little people, who protects them? Is that, yeah. Not too many.
No.
Yeah, okay. But Daniel's still with us at the convention, which opens today. What is expected to be seen there when it comes of showcases? Is there something specific that is going to dazzle everybody? Because I'm not very, up to speed when it comes to cyber history and cyber mechanisms, but is there, I don't know, like a computer that comes out and kills all the viruses? Help me out here.
Yes, there's not a computer. They haven't come up with that computer yet, but one of the really exciting things on the ground here is a company called Weave that's hosted at one of the booths behind me. They've put together an interactive map that anyone can access, and of course you get more information if you pay into the system, sign up and become a part of it. But there's this interactive map that you go online and you can really see the investor company ecosystem at play, and you can zoom in and see kind of which companies are getting which investors are interested in which types of companies, and see how they interact in a holistic map, as well as sort of on the close-up internal seams of the map. It's a really exciting company that's going to change the way we're able to view a market like this, the way we're able to look at the flow of money, the flow of influence, the flow of ideas. Right. And so that's one of the more exciting things on the ground here.
It looks very, very exciting, and you're the man to understand everything that means. So I'm happy that you're there, Daniel Roth. I want to thank you for joining us, and as you said, Yael Lavie, Startup Nation, Cyber Nation right now. Shai, I'm always happy to see you. When we get back, something entirely different. We'll take a closer look actually at the culture world this week, probably a little bit of the Oscar coming ups and whatnot. Stay with us. First, the news.